Hey, beautiful people, welcome to today's podcast with your man Josh. And today we're going to be talking about habits. So, have you ever wanted to implement new habits upon your life or wanting to remove any unwanted old habits from your life, but you find it so difficult and so frustrating at times in doing so? Well, there's two reasons that may be. One is the strategy in which you use to tackle this. Two is a lot of the time people try to make a change consciously rather than with our unconscious mind. And this is where we find ourselves sometimes falling back to old habits because we've not programmed our mind in the correct manner of creating a more permanent change. So in today's podcast, we're going to be covering a more permanent, more lasting change, and that is through the first law of behavior change. So the first law of behavior change, they are make it obvious and make it invincible. I know it may sound a little bit confusing right now, but I'm going to break it down and dive a little further into what I mean by this. But before I do, there's two things I need you to do for me. You're going to need a pen and you're going to need a paper. So with the pen and paper now, you're going to have two columns, one being the habits in which you're trying to implement upon your life, and the other being habits in which you're trying to remove from your life. And you're going to have a positive and a negative. So once you've done this now, we're going to dive straight into the first law of behavior change. And we're going to start with make it obvious. So make it obvious. Example, say you want to be a better reader. You want to start reading more books. You want to be a better reader. And the first thing you need to do is to pick up a book. Just grab a book, any book, just grab a book. Make sure it's a book that you're actually interested in and you want to read as well. So you grab a book. What you're going to do with this book now, you're going to place this book somewhere obvious that you spend a lot of time in. So say if you spend a lot of time in the living room watching TV, you're going to take that book, place it on the table in the living room. So as you're walking past or as soon as you're about to go watch TV, you're looking at that book and that book is staring right back at you. And if you're the kind of person that spends a lot of time in the bedroom now, same thing, you place that book somewhere obvious in which you can see it. And before you go to bed, as soon as you wake up, you're just constantly looking at that book. What then tends to happen is you're sending a signal towards your subconscious mind, and then over time that gets transmitted towards the conscious mind now, where now at this stage where it no longer feel like a chore, it no longer feel like hard work. What's now happened is you've now had a switch in your identity. So what seems to be so hard for you back then is now become easier, in fact even sometimes enjoyable, pleasurable, where now you've had a switch in your identity. This is who you are as a reader. It's no longer a chore no more, it's something you want to do, and it's a lot easier. And this strategy is something we could implement in different areas of our life. So if you want to go to the gym, get your gym clothes, gym shoe, gym bag, get everything ready the night before. So as soon as you wake up, you're just staring at it, it's just right there. So you really want to design your environment to suit your new habits. And so now we're going to cover how to remove bad habits from our life. So make it invincible. And in doing so now, let's say example, you want to go gym, you want to lose some weight, and that's good, but you look around your environment now, you got unhealthy food all around you. You got your biscuits and snacks and sweets in the cupboards, you got unhealthy food in the fridge. So what you want to do now is reduce exposure, and by doing so you're removing the cue to your bad habits. So you want to replace the sweets and the biscuits and the unhealthy food with the more healthier food like your salad, your veg, etc., whatever makes you happy and whatever you enjoy, in a healthy manner, of course. And by doing so now, you've made, you've removed the cue from your bad habits and you've replaced it with a more positive, cue. And over time now, is the same thing as make it obvious. Over time now, you now have a switch in your identity. So even when you walk to the shop now and you're walking past the aisle that has the sweets and the biscuit that you used to enjoy back in the days, because now you've had a switch in your identity, you no longer find those pleasurable. In fact, you can just walk straight past it without feeling it in. And this is when you've had a more lasting, permanent change in your identity of who you are. And once again, this could be used in different areas of our life and even work-wise as well. So say if you're working from home And a lot of times, sometimes we have deadlines, so you got a deadline for 6 o'clock now. You got a lot of work to do, you're stressed out. But the biggest distraction that a lot of people tend to have is our social media, our apps. For some reason, we always feel like we need to always be in the app. There's always something we're missing. In reality, there's actually not. You don't need the app. There's nothing you're missing. So if you got a deadline for 6 o'clock right now, what you need to do is to reduce exposure towards any negative behavior that may derail you from your target, from your focus. And a lot of time that could be your social media. So what you want to do now is to delete the app, the social media. Whilst you're focused or whilst you're working, you want to remove the app from your phone, because unconsciously now you've been programmed to always constantly checking that app. So whenever you feel you get distracted, because it's easy to lose focus. It's so easy for the mind to lose focus. So whenever you get distracted now, unconsciously, you just bring out your phone and you start scrolling. But by removing the app, what you've done now is, say now that distraction comes in your head, you want to scroll through your social media now. What you've then done, if you created discomfort towards that cue. So you whip out your phone, but then you remember, oh, I have to delete the app. If I want to check my Instagram now, I have to download the app, I have to log back in, I have to do this, etc. You've created a more longer process. You've created discomfort towards that cue. So by doing so now, it's keeping you in a state of focus where okay, you know what, I don't need this right now. Let me focus on what I'm doing. And once you finish that, you can re-download the app because you got no more tasks at hand. And this strategy it's a very powerful strategy that a lot of people have used in the past, and it has created more permanent change in people's behavior and lifestyle, and it's something I would recommend a lot of people to do. So yeah, that is going to be all for today's video, guys. So yeah, let me know what you think of this video. Make sure you like, subscribe. Let me know in the comment below on what you think or what you want me to talk about in the next upcoming videos. With that being said, love, peace, and happiness be upon you, and have a blessed day.